Have you ever considered swallowing a tapeworm on purpose? It sounds unbelievable, almost like something out of a bizarre science fiction story, but this was once a real suggestion people followed in the name of weight loss. Believe it or not, that was once a real diet trend. People were so desperate for quick results that they were willing to try almost anything, no matter how strange or risky it sounded. The idea was simple, yet shocking. Let a parasite eat your food for you, so you'd lose weight without effort. The tapeworm would supposedly do all the hard work. Unsurprisingly, it didn't end well. Many people got sick, and the so-called miracle turned into a nightmare. Diet history is full of wild ideas, miracle pills, bizarre food rules, and quick fixes that promised dramatic results. From powders to potions, people have tried it all. In the early 1900s, Horace Fletcher, known as the Great Masticator, insisted you chew each bite of food at least 100 times and then spit out what was left. He claimed this would help you absorb more nutrients and eat less. Dinner parties became competitive chewing contests, with guests counting their chews and trying to outdo each other. Not exactly appetizing and certainly not fun. The 1920s brought the cigarette diet. Advertisements boldly told you to reach for a Lucky instead of a sweet. Smoking was marketed as a way to stay slim, ignoring the obvious health risks. People might have gotten slimmer, but at what cost? The dangers of these habits were often ignored in the pursuit of thinness. Over the decades, we've seen banana-only diets, hard-boiled egg plans, and countless other single-food fads that promised easy weight loss if you just stuck to one thing. Some even turned to injections of pregnancy hormones, hoping for a shortcut to a slimmer body, despite the risks and lack of evidence. Each fad promised transformation, but none delivered lasting results. People were left disappointed, and sometimes worse off than before. These stories aren't just funny. They're important warnings about our endless search for easy answers and the lengths people will go for a quick fix. The truth? There's no magic fix. Just a long, fascinating, and sometimes ridiculous history of strange ideas that remind us to be careful what we believe. The 1930s gave us the grapefruit diet, half a grapefruit with every meal based on a mythical fat-burning enzyme. It worked only because it was extremely low-calorie, not because grapefruit is magic. The 1960s introduced the Sleeping Beauty diet, sedate yourself to avoid eating. Dangerous and desperate. The 1970s, the Last Chance diet, liquid protein made from animal byproducts, just 400 calories a day. Dozens died before it was pulled. Each decade brought a new, secret weapon, fruit, pills, or protein shakes, promising shortcuts to weight loss. But these diets preyed on hope, not science. They offered the illusion of an easy fix but never delivered real, lasting change. There are no shortcuts, just lessons learned the hard way. The 1980s brought the cabbage soup diet mania, a time when people everywhere were desperate for a quick fix. The promise was simple: eat endless bowls of cabbage soup, and the pounds would melt away almost overnight. For a week it was all soup, all the time. Sure, you might lose weight fast, until you tried to eat real food again, and the weight came right back. Then came the 1990s, when fat became public enemy number one. Supermarkets filled with low-fat and fat-free products, and TV ads promised guilt-free snacking. We swapped butter for margarine, loaded up on low-fat snacks, and unknowingly replaced fat with extra sugar and processed ingredients, thinking we were making healthier choices. But demonizing fat didn't work. Our bodies actually need healthy fats to function, and cutting them out left us unsatisfied and hungry. Next, the low-carb craze swept in, promising rapid results by slashing bread, pasta, and anything carb-heavy from our plates. Suddenly, bread and pasta were out, while bacon and cheese were in. People missed their favorite foods but stuck with it, hoping for lasting change. The initial weight loss was mostly water, and for most, cutting carbs so drastically proved unsustainable and left them feeling deprived. These extreme diets all had one thing in common. They demanded you give up flavor, entire food groups, and even the joy of eating. The result? A never-ending cycle of restriction, intense cravings, and guilt that made healthy eating feel impossible. The real problem wasn't a lack of willpower. It was the unrealistic, rigid plans themselves that set us up to fail. Our bodies and minds need balance, variety, and satisfaction, not endless deprivation or strict rules. Health isn't black and white, it's a spectrum, and finding what works for you is the real key to lasting wellness. Now picture a busy parent trying to follow a strict diet while juggling family life. Preparing separate meals, buying expensive, approved foods, it's exhausting and impractical. Extreme diets don't fit real life, especially for families on a budget. Worse, they set a bad example for kids, teaching food anxiety instead of healthy habits. When parents obsess over calories or restrict foods, children learn to see food as stressful, not nourishing. These diets are temporary fixes, not long-term solutions. They don't teach real skills for everyday life, just what to avoid. When the diet ends, old habits return, and so does the weight. For families, the goal should be simple, lasting habits that work in real life. So, what's the alternative to fad diets that promise quick results but rarely last? Is there a better way to feel good and stay healthy without all the stress and confusion? The answer is simple: stop dieting. Start building small, powerful habits that fit into your real life, not someone else's idea of perfect. Focus on eating real food, fruits that are fresh, colorful, and full of nutrients, plus plenty of veggies, lean proteins like chicken or fish, and wholesome whole grains that keep you full and energized. Remember, it's not about perfection, just finding a better balance each day. Drink water throughout the day. Sometimes what feels like hunger is really just thirst. Keep a bottle handy to remind yourself. Move your body in ways you actually enjoy. No need for strict routines if you love to dance, stretch, or play. Walk, dance, play outside, or just have fun being active together as a family. Consistency matters more than intensity. Be kind to yourself. Some days it's salad, some days it's cake, and that's perfectly normal. The goal is to keep showing up, not to be perfect. Prioritize sleep, manage stress, and don't let one meal or one day define your week. Health is a marathon, not a sprint. Small, steady choices add up over time. Remember, it doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. Simple changes can make a big difference. For more tips, encouragement, and support on your journey, check out my website at www.method-evolution.com. You've got this, and every small step counts.